Good morning, dear students. Myself Deepak, I am your physics teacher. So yesterday we started the mechanical properties of solids. So there in the yesterday's class we discussed the introduction about the mechanical properties of solids. What do you mean by solid? Okay, solid. The other name of solid is also called as that is rigid body, and also the elastic behavior of solids. How the solids shows the elastic behavior, and also we discussed some of the definitions. What do you mean by elastic? What do you mean by plastic body, elastic body, elasticity, plasticity? Okay. Now in today's class we are discussing the topic name, that is stress. That is stress. This is a common word which we can hear. Okay. So stress is a good word here. Okay. जैसे कि stress हम बोलते हैं, stress मुझे ज़्यादा stress हुआ है, tension ज़्यादा हुआ है. Stress usually आप लोग से भी वो सुने हैं stress मतलब क्या है. But that is not type of stress in this case. Okay. So now stress means what here? As I explained to you in yesterday's class, by taking an example, I explained you that suppose we are taking the two balls here, the same example which I explained in yesterday's class, and these two balls are being connected with the spring. Okay. So the same thing in molecules, in solids also, molecules are holded together by a force which is called as an intermolecular force. So here spring means what is intermolecular force between the two molecules here, which are present in solid. Okay, as I said, solid is a material which is having a definite shape and size. Okay, where the molecules are systematically arranged. Okay, and here, so same I am considering here two balls. These are the two molecules. If I stretch these two balls in opposite direction, okay, then what happens? There will be increase in the length of this spring. Okay, means I am applying the deforming force. Because of this deforming force, when a deforming force is being applied on any body, the restoring forces are going to be developed inside the body. Okay, now what do you mean by this restoring force? As I told you in yesterday's class, the definition of the restoring force means the force which is responsible for the body to regain its original shape and size. That force is called as restoring force. That force is called as a restoring force. The force which is responsible for the body to gain its original shape and size is called as a restoring force. So when I am applying a deforming force on this body, then the restoring forces are going to be developed. So inside the body, so that the restoring force which is acting per unit area of this body is called as stress. Okay, suppose for example, if I take any, for example, a sponge I am taking here, sponge. Okay. Now if I apply some force on this, means I am applying a deforming force. Because of applying this deforming force, the restoring force is going to be developed. Restoring forces are going to be developed inside the body. So that restoring force which is acting per unit area of this body, and if I remove this deforming force, then what happens? Again the body will come back to its original shape and size. तो उससे ओरिजिनल शेप और साइज को कौन लेके आया वहां से? E restoring forces to develop your body. Okay, the force which is responsible for the body to regain its original shape and size, that force is called as a restoring force. Means the restoring force acting per unit area. The restoring force acting per unit area on the body is called stress. Is called as stress. Okay. So I am writing here. Stress means what here? That means restoring force means external force applied on the body divided by this area. That is per unit area. That means F by A. Here F means external force. This is the external force. This is the external force which is acting on the body per unit area of this body. It is called as stress. That is called as stress. Okay. Now stress means not that kind of stress which we use that word in our everyday life. Lot of stress is that is not type of stress we are discussing. We are in physics, especially in solids. This kind of stress is going to be word is being, which is this type of word is being used. Word is being used. Okay. So external force applied on the body per unit area is called as stress. Okay. So if I take for example, if I apply the force on any body, either it might be a table, okay, or any notebook. So the force which is being acted on that body per unit area is called as stress. Okay, so because of this, due to this stress only, the body is going to be change its shape and size. Okay. No, that is what the stress which we discussed. Okay. Now, first thing here, the SI unit of stress is Newton per meter square. Newton per meter square or Pascal. The other unit is called as this Pascal. Basically, this Pascal is a unit which we are using for pressure also. Okay, so the same thing here we can also use here also. So the same, the SI unit of stress is Newton per meter square or Pascal. So, okay, so Pascal is the pressure. Stress and pressure both are having the same SI unit. So the dimensional formula is, that is 1 in mass minus 1 in length minus 2 in time is the dimensional formula for stress. Okay. So, and here one more thing, stress is a scalar quantity. Stress is a scalar quantity. Okay. Okay, scalar quantity is a quantity which is having only the magnitude, not direction. That quantity is called as a scalar quantity. A quantity which is having only magnitude, that quantity is called as a scalar quantity. So here, stress is a scalar quantity. So one more thing we should remember, that the dimensional formula for both stress and pressure are same. dimensional formula is same for stress and also pressure. Hence, hence they are having the same unit also. Okay, because of having the same units, their dimensional formula is also same. प्रेशर का भी यही डायमेंशन फॉर्मूला है और स्ट्रेस का भी यही डायमेंशन फॉर्मूला है. Okay, so this is all about the regarding the stress here. Okay, the restoring force acting per unit area of the body is called, that is, stress. Okay, now next we move on towards the types of stress here. Types of stress. Okay. Now, in this types of stress, we are having one is called as there is normal stress. Normal stress. So, in normal stress, again we are having the tangential stress. Sorry, tensile stress. Sorry, tensile stress and compressive stress. And the second one, that is tangential stress. Tangential stress, or it is also called as shearing stress. And the third one is, that is bulk stress. Bulk stress. Okay, so these are the types of stress. Normal stress. In normal stress, we are having the tensile stress and the compressive stress. In tangential stress, there is one more type of stress is tangential stress. The other one is bulk stress. So this is what the stress and the types of stress. Now, what is this normal stress here? Normal stress means what? Okay, let us study about the normal stress here. Okay, so first of all, normal stress. So this is what the types of stress here. So normal stress means what? Normal stress means the restoring force. The restoring force acting per unit area perpendicular to the surface of the body is called this normal stress. So suppose, for example, is a any box or any notebook, book we can say. Let us consider as a box. So now the force is being acted. This is the force which is acting perpendicularly. Perpendicular to the surface. This is the surface of the body. Okay, so the restoring force per unit area perpendicular to the surface of the body is called as, that is, normal stress. Here normal means is perpendicular. Okay, normal means perpendicular. Okay, so the restoring force, I am writing the definition here for the normal stress. Normal stress का definition, the restoring force acting per unit area perpendicular to the surface of the body is known as, that is, normal stress. It is called as normal stress. Again, in normal stress, we are having two types of stress. One is tensile stress, the other one is compressive stress. So, what is this tensile stress? Tensile stress is also nothing but what? It is a type of normal stress. So, the definition is also same for tensile stress and for compressive stress. Then, what is the difference between this tensile stress and the compressive stress? दोनों का मतलब सेम है यहाँ पे, दोनों को ऐसे ही डिफाइन कर सकते हैं. The restoring force acting per unit area perpendicular to the surface of the body. Then what is the difference here in both these stress? Suppose we are considering a cylindrical body. Okay. Now a force is acted on opposite direction. It's in this direction. A force is being applied. Okay, opposite. So we are pulling like this. Okay, I'm stretching this body. So due to this, suppose what I am telling here, that initially the length of the original length of this cylinder body is L. So after stretching, what happens? There will be increase in the length of the cylindrical body. So initially it was L plus delta L. So the force is, I am writing here. So this is how the force is being applied. So after stretching this body in equal and opposite direction, then there will be some increase in the length. Original length is L. Initially it was L. Then after pulling, after stretching, there will be increase in the length. So this delta L means increase in the length of the body. So there is in tensile stress, the force is being acted perpendicular to the surface of the body. Perpendicularly act बना है. But यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? यहाँ पे length increase हो रहा है. The same thing in compressive, the same body we are considering, the cylindrical body. Initially, the cylindrical body's length was L. Then if I apply the same forces like this, if I compress like this, okay, this body, I am applying a force in the same direction. Both forces are coming together, acting together. So due to this, what happens? There will be decrease in the length of this original length. So initially the original length is L. Then what happens? Minus. Because ओरिजिनल लेंथ में यहाँ पे लेंथ डिक्रीज हो रहा है. सपोज फॉर एग्जांपल यहाँ पे 15 सेंटीमीटर है, 15 सेंटीमीटर ओरिजिनल लेंथ है, तो यहाँ पे कुछ इंक्रीज हो गया, मानो यहाँ पे बढ़ गया 15.5 हो गया. बट यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? 14.5 हो गया. इसका मतलब क्या? यहाँ पे डिक्रीज हो गया, यहाँ पे इंक्रीज हो गया. टेंसाइल में लेंथ इंक्रीज होता है, कंप्रेसिव में लेंथ डिक्रीज होती है. यहाँ पे फोर्सेस जो है वो परपेंडिकुलरली एक्ट हो रहे हैं. फोर्सेस आर एक्टिंग परपेंडिकुलरली ओनली on the surface of the body. So the restoring force acting per unit area perpendicular to the surface of the body is called as normal stress. In tensile stress, length is increasing. In compressive, length is decreasing. So this is what which we discussed in the today's class. Okay, in the next class we will discuss what do you mean by there is tangential stress or shearing stress, and next type of stress is that is bulk stress. Okay, now and also we will discuss the strain also. Okay, so this is what in today's class we discussed. Okay, stress, types of stress. Okay, thank you, students.